So now that the Hulk has traveled to the Requiem plane, it's here where he finally learns the origin of Gamma, the origin of the One Below All, as well as what's been going on with Betty this entire series. And all of that happens just before the Hulk gets replaced. So with that said, if you enjoyed these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. Alright, so this continues right where we left off, when we saw the Eldest transport the Hulk to the Requiem plane. And in our last talk, I went through the history of what happened here between the One Above All and the Mother of Horrors, since we were given that explanation in the last issue. But we'll talk even more about a lot of that stuff here. Because with the Hulk being sent here to the Requiem plane, he's greeted by Betty, who tells him that she's gonna explain everything to him. And now, you guys already know, I've had my suspicions about Betty throughout this series, as far as what's going on with her throughout all of this, and we get that answer too. But coming back is here where she says, "Would you like to know what happened here, Hulk?" We could ask them. They haven't forgotten a thing. So Hulk tells her here, "Dead things don't talk, Betty." And that's where she tells him, "Oh Hulk, you know better than that. The dead talk more than anyone." And lately, we've seen quite a bit of emphasis on that, with the Hulk being able to see the dead, speak with the dead, and in some cases not even know that the person he's talking to has been dead. And some of that continues here as they make their way through, because when Hulk jumps on one of these huge skulls, he gets a glimpse from this creature's memory. But when Betty asks Hulk what did he see, Hulk's just like nothing. And she knows he's lying, so she gives him the history, and she tells him here that's Phylaxel, keeper of lost knowledge. These others were her brother Phylactemin, which I think is how you say it. But also, before we just brush past this, I also want to say there's a reason why we don't really know who this was or who her people were, and that's mainly because all of the dead monsters we see in the Requiem plane, they were destroyed by the One Below All a long time ago. And we're shown how exactly that went down when we go into the history of the Mother of Horrors and the origin of the One Below All. Because next, Betty goes on to tell Hulk they were Beast of Riddles and Journal of the Iron Lords, and she tells him, "Go on, Hulk, ask her. What did the dead ones tell you? Hulk, what do you see?" And this is where the Hulk is shown. The same story that we got before, which connected the Mother of Horrors and the origin of monsters and the One Below All, and wove their histories in with the Elder Gods. But this time around, as it's being shown to Hulk, Hulk only sees the images. So he describes to Betty what he sees. And he says here, "I see Earth when it was new, quiet, gods, nothing else, ocean, deep, peaceful, except there's something down there. It's changing things, everything. Pretty things went dark, quiet things got hungry." So she asks him here, "What else do you see?" And Hulk tells her, "Another god, the one who made everything. He didn't care about Earth until the monsters came." And now really quick, this part is basically fast tracking the history as far as the One Above All creating Earth, and with it the Demiurge Primordial, who seeded the Earth with life starting with the Elder Gods. And we were told before that the Demiurge and the Elder Gods shaped the Earth to his design, except for one lone drop of shadow that sprang into being, not of the One Above All, but of itself. And we were told before that this shadow would later become Venruvial, and over time Venruvial would plant dark seeds that corrupted the creatures and the Elder Gods, which is what then led to Gia and the Demiurge bringing forth the tomb, who would later become the Demigorge. And this all comes back to that because Hulk says that he sees here another god, the one who made everything. He didn't care about Earth until the monsters came. He made a monster to kill all the others. It was over. But the thing in the dark was still there. God opened the ground and found her, which now brings us to the One Above All's discovery of Venruvial. And like we were told before, the One Above All wasn't familiar with this darkness. So at this point, when he cracked the Earth open to see what was going on, this immediately made me think of that dude looking at that server rack. I'm like, what is going on in here? This some One Above All tech support. But again, going along with the story that we were given, the Hulk sees Venruvial put darkness in the One Above All, which is how the One Below All was created. So as Hulk continues to describe what he's seeing here, he says the Mother of Horrors, or Venruvial, made the One Below All. And Betty tells him, "Yes, Hulk, she corrupted God himself. That's when Gamma was born. The One Below All went into the dark and killed all her children he could find. And then he hurt her worse than anything's ever been hurt. When he couldn't hurt her anymore, he roared so loud that the world ripped apart, and they knew bad place opened up inside, hard and cold. That's where he put her, behind a door no one could open but him. The things that lived down here built a city around it. He hung the heads of her immortal children across the city. That's the sound you heard. The endless screaming of the old ones, lamenting that they'd ever been born, screaming for their mother to kill them." And now this is something we caught a glimpse of back in issue 16, when the Eldest tried to use Enkidu, the previous fractured son, to access the green flame and release the Mother of Horrors. And we've been covering this series in its entirety since issue 1. So if you need to get caught up, or if you just want to go back after learning more about what we were looking at the time, I have a link to the full playlist in the description. But in the here and now, after Betty explains these images to the Hulk, this has the Hulk like, so you mean she's still alive in there? And Betty tells him, yes Hulk, that's why Eldest brought you here. Only the one below all can open Mother's prison, and you carry the green fire now, which was created in the clash between VENOM and the one above all. But right here when Betty tells him like only the one below all can open Mother's prison, and how Hulk carries the green fire now, Hulk just looks at her and he's like, I'm not opening anything. He's like, what'd you say? Nah, get somebody else to do it. And right after that, when Hulk hears someone coughing in the distance, he takes off and heads over there, just to find that it's Dr. Voodoo, who as we know the Eldest went after when Dr. Voodoo helped the Hulk back in issue 12. When he placed a spell on the Hulk so that the Eldest couldn't take him. And this was something we didn't find out until later on, when the Eldest went after Dr. Voodoo after she found out. But nonetheless, thanks to Dr. Voodoo, the world has not yet ended. But also like we'd seen before, when the Hulk found out Dr. Voodoo was in trouble, he had been looking for him. And that's why he was heading back to New Orleans. And now with Voodoo seeing Hulk here, Voodoo's basically like, well, I thought you wasn't a hero, Hulk. But Hulk's just like, yeah, well, I do what I want. Just before the Hulk frees him. But it's kind of funny with the Hulk saying I do what I want, because we know the Eldest was heavily involved in getting the Hulk to New Orleans, as well as bringing him to the Requiem plane. So it's not like the Hulk came all the way here on his own. He was very much lured and then taken. But in his defense, he was definitely trying to help Dr. Voodoo. But Voodoo tells him here, he's like, Hulk, you shouldn't have come. And he lets Hulk know that the Eldest is making a fractured son of her own by leeching gamma from other gamma mutates to make something just as strong as Hulk. And now we saw a lot of this cooking up in the background, from the abduction of Crusher Creel, as well as Scar being taken, and even the whole situation with Bucky Barnes and Natasha Romanoff investigating the strange disappearances of gamma-powered individuals. And that's why Dr. Voodoo's telling Hulk here like, hey, you shouldn't have came. Because it's like he's laid out here like, bro, you shouldn't have. No, really, you shouldn't have. Because with the Hulk coming here, which as we know wasn't necessarily by choice, but Voodoo's trying to tell Hulk by coming here, he's giving the Eldest what she wants. And even after Voodoo tells Hulk about the Eldest leeching gamma from other mutates and her making her own fractured son as strong as the Hulk, when the Hulk hears this, he's just like, Hulk is strongest. And it's like, yeah, okay, you just ain't worried about nothing. But after Hulk picks up Dr. Voodoo, they continue on their way and Betty tells them, we're almost to the door. But then when Hulk looks up, he's shown what's said to be one of the Arachnid's midwives, draining blood and gamma from all the different gamma-powered people who are missing. And Betty even says here soon it's gonna hatch and we'll see who the strongest is. But among these people who we see being drained of their blood and gamma, we see Scar, we see Absorbing Man, Doc Sasquatch, as well as Betty. And right there, Hulk's like, wait a minute, what's Betty doing up there and you right here? And that's when he looks over at the Betty who's been talking to him this whole time, only for her to tell him that she is the Eldest, because she's just been posing as Betty to lure Hulk here. And I got a feeling this isn't the first time that the Eldest pulled this one, because at the start of this series we saw Betty and the Eldest having a conversation, but after that all the other Betty appearances in this series, they're all very questionable now. Let me know what you guys think, because even now when she hulks out and attacks Hulk, she even goes back to the voice of the Eldest, because I mean now the gig's up, so why not? And I'll even say, man, seeing Doc Samson or Doc Sasquatch here, and I mean as well as Scar, it all kind of takes me back to the Gamma Flight days, which really wasn't that long ago, but I mean it feels like forever. But then it's right here where the Eldest shoves the Hulk onto this huge spider, so he can drain his blood and gamma too. And when she does, we can kind of see what's forming inside of the spider, as she tells the Hulk, with your blood in my vessel's veins, I will be stronger than ever you were, and our mother will be freed. But at the same time, with Hulk realizing that this isn't actually Betty that he's dealing with or who's talking to him here, after a while Hulk's like, nah, I'm finna smash you. So that's where these two go at it, and it gets pretty gruesome with the Eldest melting half of Hulk's face. But this fight between the two of them, it's not even close. But the Eldest doesn't really care, because she basically has everything that she needed. All she's got to do now is buy some time. And it's kind of funny when she tells the Hulk here, almost done now, fractured son. So the Hulk's like, oh, fractured? And then he breaks her arm and he's like, your turn. But while the Hulk is just destroying the Eldest, he starts to see flashbacks of Charlie, back when she told him, get away from me, we're just like them, when she told Hulk that they're just like the monsters that they'd killed. And eventually this is enough to make the Hulk stop. When he does, he tells the Eldest here, not like you. But at this point, with the new fractured son getting ready to come out of the oven, it's here where the Arachnid midwife starts to pull the blood and gamma from what's left of the heartbeat copy that the Eldest was using, and it gives it to the new fractured son. And this is where the Eldest goes on to tell the Hulk, did you think this was done? All flesh is my birthright, fractured son. I wore the heartbeat only to lead you here, that I might take the green fire I needed from you. And now I have done it. And the look on Hulk's face here when he sees the Fractured Sun 2.0, it's almost like he's seen a ghost. Because now the eldest has taken on the form of the Abomination. And she says here, face your death at last, Fractured Sun, and usher in the age of monsters. And I gotta say, with her coming back as the Abomination, I wonder if this was specifically because of the story coming from Immortal Hulk and going into Gamma Flight after the Abomination came back and Dr. Alba was using his DNA on so many other people, but who knows? And I mean, this could be connected, or this could just be a choice to give us a huge fight. But if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and let me know if you guys are thinking what I'm thinking. Because first of all, I imagine this isn't your one-to-one Abomination copy. He's likely way stronger. But also I imagine this is setting up something to take us right into Infernal Hulk. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.